That's hilarious.
I mean, it's fucking.
Oh, that's probably a skinwalker.
Skinwalker. Boop. It's terrible, but I'm like, that's our culture, man.
You kill that dog with a hammer? It was a skinwalker.
Welcome to Spooky Fun Time, a show where comedians face their fears. Now, here's your host, Brent Reed.
All right, welcome to the Spooky Fun Time podcast. It's a brand new podcast where comedians face their fears. I'm your host, Brent Reed, with my lovely producer, Brandon Lejean. Thank you so much.
Hello.
You're wonderful. I'm here today. I'm very excited about my guest today. He is a very good friend of mine.
Whoa.
He's a very good acquaintance of mine.
Whoa, dude. What the fuck?
He is my boyfriend.
There we go.
He is a very funny comedian based in Austin, Texas, from New Mexico originally. I just found out today he was also a child actor. You may recognize him from the movie The Spy Next Door with Jackie Chan, George Lopez, and Billy Ray Cyrus. Make some noise for Maverick McWilliams. Woo!
Why'd you bring that up?
Because I thought it was fun.
You piece of shit, dude.
I didn't know you were a child actor.
Yeah, there's a reason I don't tell people about it.
Oh, shit.
I wasn't a good one. You know what I mean? Oh.
You were Chad in that movie?
Yeah, but hey, Maverick, remember that monumental failure you had when you were a child?
Is it a failure?
Yeah, I'm not doing it anymore. So, I mean, I was one and done with my acting career. Shit.
Well, I'm sorry to start it off.
Thank you for having me, dude.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for being here.
Are you wearing sugar baby socks?
I am wearing sugar baby socks.
God damn, that's what I'm gonna start calling you, dude.
Sugar
My
baby?
little sugar
That was my
baby.
nickname in high school.
Oh, okay.
Sugar baby. Brent Sugar Baby Reed.
Thought it was retard.
Fuck! I'm smart, dude.
Who told you that?
I didn't even wear my helmet today. So we've talked about this podcast before. You said you ain't scared of shit.
I did. You know what's funny? The older I get, the less I think it's anyway. All right, sorry. Let me start over. I think the thing is about fear is as you get older, you start getting scared of actual shit.
Yes.
Right? Like no kid is scared of foreclosure on their home.
Right.
They're scared of the dark.
Yeah.
No grown man is scared of the boogeyman. They're scared of the fucking IRS.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So when you were a kid, were you scared? Do you remember being scared of the dark and stuff?
You know what's funny, dude? As a kid, I was pretty scared. I was kind of a hypochondriac. I was always kind of, like, oh my, I was kind of worried. I was worried a lot as a kid. Very big worrier. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, so there was a lot of like urban legends, a lot of stuff like that really kind of scared me as a kid. So yeah, I was kind of a scared kid growing up.
Well, let's talk about where you grew up. You grew up in New Mexico?
I grew up in a small town, the small town of Stanley, New Mexico, population 108.
What year were you born?
1996.
Gotcha. Okay.
So late 90s, early 2000s kid. But the thing about it is I wish I can give the comic who said this their like flowers on it, but I can't remember who said it. But they're like, growing up in rural America in the early 2000s was like growing up anywhere in the 80s. Like it was just, like there wasn't a lot to do.
Right.
Nobody wore seatbelts. Fucking.
Were you kind of set free to just like walk down the street and stuff?
Yeah, dude. One of the biggest things whenever like in the summertime, one of the things my mom would yell at me is like, "Hey, watch out for rattlesnakes." That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we had snakes in Alabama too.
Dude, this is something I'm trying to talk to other comics about. Did you ever have snakes in your house?
Yes,
Yeah?
I remember. Yeah, and it was always a big thing. Like we found, it wasn't. I remember my mom like was reaching into a cabinet to grab something.
Fuck.
This is when we lived in a trailer. She
Hell
was
yeah.
reaching into the cabinet to grab something, and she just felt it slither across her hand.
Fuck.
And the whole neighborhood got involved. I remember they had this thing out in the yard, and like 5 old redneck guys were surrounding him. Like, all right, who's gonna stab it? And they ended up chopping its head off or whatever.
Dude, that's so funny, man. Growing up, I lived in Stanley for about 13 years, for the first 13 years of my life. And then I moved to the bigger town of Moriarty, which is population 1,200. And then Edgewood, which is like population 3,000. But nothing but like small towns around me. And so, like, dude, we had snakes in our house fucking constantly, dude. Rattlesnakes, bull snakes, shit like that. So I don't fuck with snakes. I don't fuck with, like, I can do spiders, like, I can do, stuff like that, but, like, something about snakes, I don't fuck with them.
You're scared of snakes.
I'm not scared of them. Like, I could be in the same room as a snake, but it's one of those things when someone's like, ugh, I'm like, get the fuck away from me, dude.
What have you seen that one that the people take pictures with, that big ass python on 6th Street?
Every time I get a spot on 6th Street on a Saturday night or a Friday night, I fucking avoid that motherfucker like the plague, dude.
I was barking for a show the other day. I think it was that lady. She came by she came by on a hoverboard, those the 2-wheel things. She had the snake around her neck.
God damn.
And a blunt in her mouth.
That's the devil,
and
dude.
she just whizzed
that lady's the devil, dude. I assume
devil.
if I go to hell, the devil's gonna be like,
yeah, just
what up, fam? How you doing? You like my python? I'm like, God damn it, what did I do to come here, dude?
Okay, so tell me about these urban legends in your hometown.
So I grew up in a very large Hispanic community, right? Like, my family's Hispanic, all my cousins, my mom, things like that. Like, the white side of me is like my dad's side, right? There's a urban legend growing up called La Llorona. La Llorona is Spanish for the crying woman. Where my mom grew up, the curse of La Llorona. This is real. I've heard this story since I was a little kid. My mom heard this story when she was a little kid. It comes from Mexico. The crying woman, or the wailer, right, is what it's called. But where my mom grew up, there's a bunch of irrigation ditches.
Okay.
We call her like La Llorona, or the ditch witch.
Dude, she's creepy looking.
Fucking scary. This is what happened. This lady was married to a man. I think the story, there's a bunch of different stories with, like, urban legends, right? But the story I heard was this lady was having an affair with this guy. He was married to somebody else. She had 2 of his kids. And after, like, years of whatever, broke it off with this dude. He broke it off with her and was like, I don't want to be with you anymore, all this stuff. Like, it's just become too much. And so she went crazy and thought if she killed her kids, she could have him back. So she drowned both of her kids.
Fuck.
And now she wandered, and then she killed herself. And then she wanders, like, any type of like waterway or something like that, looking for children.
Oh,
so
shit.
our aunts, our uncles, and our grandmothers to, like, make us not, and it's an urban legend to teach kids not to go near water,
right?
So they don't drown.
Stay away from the water.
Yeah. Instead of telling kids like, "Hey, don't fucking go in the water and drown," you tell them a scary story about a fucking lady who's gonna drown you and take you, right?
Of course, you can't communicate the real thing.
You can't just tell a child, "Hey, buddy, listen, you're not a very good swimmer because you're 4. And I don't have time to watch you all the time, so you need to be cool and not go near the water." Yeah. No, you like, listen, La Llorona's going to come and fucking take you if you don't be good, or I'm going to call La Llorona or whatever, right?
That's kind of a way that parents teach us a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's like, be good because Santa's watching,
right?
And, the Bible and stuff.
Yeah, dude, that comes from, that's a long tradition in like just human history of instead of trying to explain something to somebody, it's like, no, God's going to kill you. You know what I mean? Yeah, the devil.
Yeah.
You're like,
it's just way easier to be like, there's a ghost lady in the water.
Yeah, it's like, why can't I cheat on my wife? They're like, because God said so. And you're like, oh, okay, cool.
Do you remember, like, a specific time where how do you say it?
La Llorona.
La Llorona?
Like Ma Sharona.
La Llorona.
La Llorona. Yeah.
Do you remember, like, a specific time where you were avoiding the water, where you, like, thought she was going to be in your bathroom or some shit?
No, it's not like in your bathroom. It's like rivers and shit, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
So I remember the first time I heard it was like I was probably 6. I was probably 6, and my aunt told one of my cousins, she was like, they're like, "Hey, you better come inside or La Llorona's going to get you." And my cousin was like, fuck. And I was like seeing another kid around. I'm like, oh, fuck, right? I go in and I'm like, who is that? Who's La Llorona? And they're like, oh, it's the ditch witch. And I was like, who is that? And they told me the story, and I was like, that happened? They go, yeah, that's a true story. And I'm like, fuck. Okay.
Like, that's a lot.
I'm like, both of them? She killed both her kids? Right? And it's always a little boy and a little girl. That's how they get you. So they're like, oh, she just goes after little boys. No, she goes after boys and girls
because she had one of each
to try to replace her kids. Yeah.
Oh God, that's so scary.
And then, so yeah, that was a big thing. The boogeyman.
Yeah.
But
what about like chupacabra?
Me and my dad saw a chupacabra once. We're in Lawton, Oklahoma. It was a dog with mange. I don't have the heart to tell him. But like, you know, growing up in like a big Hispanic culture, there's like a lot of like Hispanic stuff. Like
a lot of superstition.
So like instead of like my mom, if she gets freaked out, she'll go, uy, cucuy. She'll say cucuy, which is like Spanish for the boogeyman.
Yeah.
Yes, el cucuy is the Spanish boogeyman.
Okay.
So we'll say, so like if there's a room in a house that's like haunted, if there's like a house that's haunted and in one specific room, that's called your cucuy room. Like that's like the haunted room, room in the back of the house.
Okay. So
yeah.
That's a question that I usually ask. Was there a room in your house growing up that you avoided that where the boogeyman was?
For some reason, like my grandmother lived in a trailer, and my grandmother and my grandfather lived in a trailer for a really long time. And for some reason, a little room in the back of the trailer was always like closed. It was like their storage room. But as a kid, you're like, what's in there?
Right.
And they used to always call it the cucuy room. Yeah, secrets.
Secrets in the boogeyman.
It's my retarded cousin they keep in a cage in there. just like, shut up!
What other superstitions, like away from the specifically scary stuff, what other superstitions did you grow up with? Are you superstitious?
Yeah, so I grew up, so New Mexico is a very interesting culture because it's very big Hispanic and very big Native American.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of Native American superstitions that I follow. Like, if I see an owl, I'll usually like do the sign of the, so I'm Catholic too, so like I'll do like the sign of the cross. Owls, I think in Navajo culture, an owl is the one that takes you to the afterlife. This giant owl is like death. So owls are fucking no good.
Owls are scary.
Owls are scary, so I don't fuck with owls. If you touch like petroglyphs, like cave drawings and shit, you're not supposed to touch those because if you touch them, that's bad luck. Black cats. I've worked construction for over 10 years. I've never walked under a ladder.
Yeah.
Won't do that. If I spill salt, I'll throw it over my shoulder.
Over the shoulder?
Yeah.
Cool.
My ex-girlfriend used to get pissed at me because we'd be driving down the road and a black cat would run in front of us and I'd be like, I'm like, it's not because it's black. It's just because it's a black cat. All right.
Now, is that specifically like a street cat? Like if you came over to my place and I owned a black cat, is that bad?
If it crosses in front of your path, I won't cross that path.
Yeah. So if it walked past the bathroom hallway, you're just like, guess I'm gonna leave to go potty.
Yeah, I want it. Usually, what I'll do if I have to, like if it's like I'm on the freeway or something like that, and a black cat runs in front, I'll do it just like the sign of the cross or something like that.
Yeah.
There's I have magic dirt in my truck.
Magic dirt.
Magic dirt. It's from the Santuario de Chimayo. The Santuario is a church in Chimayo, New Mexico, where 3 priests were walking one day. This is in the 1800s. They're walking one day. Oh, there's like a bunch of weird, super like spooky shit in New Mexico, right? There's a church in Santa Fe that's got a staircase that they say was built by Jesus. They've x-rayed it and it doesn't have any nails in it.
Oh.
It's fucking so I'll tell you that story in a second. But so the Santuario, so 3 priests were walking in the mountains of New Mexico one day, and one of them was very, very sick, and they stopped for the night, and one of the priests saw on a far off hillside a light. And he walked to that light, and it was a hole, and he heard the voice of God that says, you know, take this dirt and use it to heal your brother. So he took that dirt, took it to the other priests, like rubbed it on him, and he was cured the next day. And around that hole, they built a church called the Santuario. Now the Santuario is during Easter, people will make pilgrimages, walks from all over the state to it. One of my best friends growing up, his mom and dad used to walk from their house in Klein's Corners to Santuario, which is like 50 miles. So
holy shit.
But in this room, the room is about the size of the studio.
Right. Okay.
And there's a hole in the ground about the size of one of these tables. And that hole is dirt. And people can take that dirt and use it to cure. And this room is lined with like crutches, hospital badges.
Yo. And there's just a hole in the ground?
One time I was having an asthma attack when I was a kid. And like a really bad one, and I was in the hospital. My mom grabbed some of the Santuario dirt. It was around Easter. You always go there like during Easter, and she took some of the Santuario dirt, brought it to me in the hospital, rubbed it on my chest, and the next day I started getting better.
Yo.
So I keep it in my truck.
What's it in?
It's like in a little container.
Okay.
Yeah, a little see-through container. They like have them there at the church.
Oh, gotcha. So you don't actually go and like scoop it yourself.
No, you can. Like I scoop this dirt myself.
Gotcha. But they have the containers there. Gotcha.
People put them in all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Like my grandma just has them in fucking Ziploc bags around her house, and she's like, "I got some Santuario dirt for you." I'm like, "Thank you, Grandma. I appreciate it." I believe in holy water.
That room sounds spooky with all the
oh, it's
crushes
so
and
creepy.
stuff.
It's creepy as hell. And this church is like 150 years old. So Santa Fe is the second oldest city in America. The first oldest is St. Augustine, Florida.
Okay.
So people have been in Santa Fe since the 1400s, and Chimayo is like in that area, right, in like central northern New Mexico. So there's been people in my state for longer than there's been people in the country, right? Because Florida and New Mexico were settled by the Spanish, right?
Gotcha.
That's why a lot of people in New Mexico, they don't like being called Mexican because we weren't settled by Mexico. We were settled by Spain.
I see.
Right. Like we've been.
So they're Spanish, not Mexican.
Yeah, we've been a territory longer than Mexico's been a country.
Get the fuck out of here. I
Yeah.
didn't know I was going to learn anything.
Yeah.
This is the most I've learned on an episode of
Like
this podcast.
New
so
Mexico is not named after Mexico. It's named after a town in Mexico that was named after somebody in Spain.
I see. Okay. So tell me about this this staircase that was built by Jesus.
So there's a church in Santa Fe that they were like these nuns were like, hey, They needed to get to like this second story, and they had a ladder, and this ladder was very dangerous. So they hired a carpenter one day. A carpenter came into town. This is like in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Carpenter came into town, worked there for like 3 weeks. Didn't really talk to anybody, built this staircase, and left. Never got paid for it. The nuns were like, oh, shit, we have to pay this guy. Where is he? The day after it was done, he left. They went to the local like lumber store there like in town, and they were like, hey, the carpenter that has been working here, that's been working at our church for like 3 weeks, you know, does he have any, we'd wanted to pay him, but he left. You know how to get a hold of him? Does he have a balance here? They go, nobody's been here to buy wood like that much wood. And they're like, huh. And then historians and stuff have x-rayed it, and there's not one nail in the entire thing, and it's a very intricate staircase.
Yeah.
It's not just like a bing bing. No, like my dad's a carpenter, and my dad has seen this staircase, and he goes, I don't know how the fuck it works. He goes, goddamn, that thing fucking
Must have been Jesus.
He goes, yeah, that thing baffles me. And then a lot of people say it was Jesus, or no, they say it was I don't think they said it was Jesus. I think they said it was one of the disciples.
Yeah, but that's
Paul
still,
or something like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, like the staircase. So it's got just, if you look at this thing, it is beautiful. That thing doesn't have a single fucking nail in it.
That's insane.
That's what I'm saying.
And people are just walking up and down it all willy-nilly?
Yeah, it's a crazy spiral staircase, and it's just like, yeah, nobody knows how the fuck it's built. Nobody knows how he did it. I think people have tried to recreate it, but they can't. And then the fact that he just left one day, nobody knew who he was. He never received payment for it. Like, it was just
that's creepy.
A crazy deal.
Yeah. How cool. Are you religious?
Very, yeah.
Christian?
Catholic.
Catholic. Okay.
Yeah.
You're raised Catholic?
Grew up in the Catholic Church. My full name is Maverick Edward McWilliams in the Catholic Church.
Really?
Yeah.
Edward?
Yeah, I did the second Edward as a goof.
That's fun.
So
my parents went to church with a lady named Terry.
Terry, she's kind of scary. Here we go. So, like, when you're Catholic, you get your middle name. Like, your middle name is your baptismal name.
Gotcha.
So Edward is my baptismal name, and named after Saint Edward. And then when you go through confirmation, like in middle school, right? It's like kind of the equivalent to like a bat mitzvah for like the Jewish person. It's around the same age. You get to pick another name, your confirmation name, and a lot of people will pick a different one. And I was having trouble. I was like, should it be like St. Michael, St. Anthony, whatever, St. Paul? And I was like, how funny would it be if I just picked Edward again? As my confirmation teacher was like, can I pick my same middle name again? They're like, yeah.
Yeah, I fucking
I
guess
don't
so.
I don't know why
you'd
you would
want
do
to
that. I was like,
that.
how funny. And so that when the priest confirmed me, he goes, Maverick Edward McWilliams. I was like, I looked at my mom and I'm like, she's like,
"You
you're
son
a
of a
fucking
bitch."
idiot. I was like, it's so funny.
That's great.
Yeah, man. So yeah, but I don't know. Like I like religion. I think it's religion is good for people. It gives you a pretty good a good barometer.
For sure.
Right.
I think I'm not religious anymore, but I was raised Baptist, and it is like, but to me, it's like one of those things you teach kids right from wrong, and it's just an easy cheat code way to do that.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Like if you live your life by just the 10 Commandments,
Yeah.
right? Just the 10 Commandments, it'll teach you a lot, right? Like
Right.
it'll teach you to obey your parents, to be faithful to your spouse, to not cuss so much, don't kill, don't steal, don't cheat.
Yeah.
Be grateful for what you have, right? Like don't covet thy neighbor's things, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, stop worrying about everybody else. Just worry about what you have and be grateful for what you have. And then, you know, like don't worship any other gods before me, you know, is a good way to be like, you know, just have one thing, right? You know, there's nothing worse than when I meet somebody and they're like, oh yeah, I'm this and that and all this. I'm like, just be one fucking thing.
Just be one thing.
Be cool with one thing, right? You know, and I just think, you know, it's a good barometer. It's a good starting place to become a good person.
For sure.
Right?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Did you watch scary movies growing up?
Dude.
Do you like them now?
I love scary movies. Love haunted house. I love scary shit and spooky shit. I listen to Spooky Podcast every week. It's my
Nice.
favorite. One of the things the movie that you asked me this the other day, but the movie that scared the shit out of me the most as a kid was Jeepers Creepers. Did you ever see that movie?
Yes, I love Jeepers Creepers.
Jeepers Creepers is so good, and it scared us because that movie takes place in like the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So when you grow up in the middle of nowhere, it's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You got those old churches that are dilapidated
Yeah.
and shit.
I mean, and New Mexico is just a scary place in general.
Yeah, that scene where Justin Long goes down underground and looks up and all those people are just like stuck to the ceiling.
Yeah.
And then when he finds like that couple that went missing with his head like sewed back on, because they find, I think in the movie they found his body without a head, and then he finds it like sewed onto someone else's body.
Yeah.
I think
It's crazy.
that's a
dude.
gnarly one.
And then like in Navajo culture, which is like I find really interesting, like Native American culture, there's like skinwalkers.
Yes.
There's a bunch of skinwalker stories growing up. Wendigos aren't like a Navajo thing. They're like a
Wendigos are cool.
Wendigos are a cool thing too. Yeah, just like dude. Yeah,
Wendigos are the things that if they turn into that when you commit cannibalism, right?
Yeah, and then I think a skinwalker is somebody who kills somebody. If you kill somebody, you like in your tribe or whatever, you become a skinwalker. You can become a skinwalker, right?
So I heard this Native American legend growing up. We used to go we didn't go to many different places for field trips. But I remember there was this camping trip that we went on. I say camping. We stayed at these cabins on this campground.
Oh, cool.
And it was called Bear Creek in Alabama.
Oh, hell yeah.
And at night we would they would tell us a ghost story every year, and everybody in my school knew about it. It was called Spearfinger. And she was this witch. She was this lady with like this long fingernail. And she would like sneak into kids' houses at night, split them open and take stuff, like take like a kidney or like a liver, and then magically sew them back up. And they figured out, like this tribe or whatever figured out what she was doing. They burn her alive, and then all they found was her finger.
Whoa.
And then so now she comes to Bear Creek at night. They would tell us this. We're in 6th grade. We're on this trip. They're like, lock your door because Spearfinger will come in there and take your goddamn liver. And they sold T-shirts and stuff at Bear Creek of Spearfinger. Like I remember my sister had a cool shirt with like this creepy lady on the back.
Yeah.
That was like a gnarly one. I think that was a Cherokee story.
Yeah. I think Cherokee were one of the civilized tribes, or like, what is it? Civilized tribes or I don't know. But there's so many cool stories in Native American lore about like, you know,
mythology.
The earth is on a giant turtle. You know, the great creators, stuff like that. If you go on the reservation, so a big majority of New Mexico is reservation land. The Navajo Nation has the biggest reservation out of any other tribe. it encompasses like 4 states: New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, and Utah, like in the Four Corners area.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big part of it's in New Mexico and Arizona. And if you drive on the res, you'll see like dead dogs on the side of the road because they're like, oh, skinwalker, beep, fucking,
Oh,
dude,
shit.
it's insane. Like, they hate coyotes. They hate, like, if you see a coyote, there's like, oh, that's a skinwalker, dude.
That's hilarious.
I mean, it's fucking.
Oh, that's probably a skinwalker.
Oh, skinwalker, boop.
Not anymore.
It's terrible, but I'm like, that's our culture, man.
You kill that dog with a hammer? It was a skinwalker. I killed the skinwalker with a hammer.
Yeah, dude, it's like growing up, whenever your dog dies or whatever, someone's like, you went off to a farm. Navajo dads are just like, you turned into a skinwalker. I had to kill him with my bare hands. I'm sorry.
That's funny.
As he's taking off a pair of bear gloves.
Yeah, what happened to Brownie? He's a skinwalker now.
Turned into a skinwalker.
Shit.
Yeah, but what happened to my cousin, skinwalker, dude? Shit.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah, I believe in ghosts. There's just, it's so funny when somebody doesn't believe in ghosts or aliens, because I'm like, you don't really, like, the world and the universe is so fucking crazy. You don't believe in either of those things?
I don't.
Oh yeah?
I mean, no, I believe in aliens, I think. But
You don't believe in ghosts? The world's so fucking crazy. You don't believe in ghosts, dude?
I don't. I've been to places that were supposedly haunted,
Sure.
and I'm like open to it, and I think that shit's cool.
Right.
And I think I talked about this on another episode. I always say I don't believe in anything fun, like anything that I think would make the world. Like, I think that people want to believe in ghosts because it makes life more exciting.
Yeah.
And it is cool.
I think it gives people hope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have you ever had a encounter?
No. I mean,
like a weird feeling or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I've had like weird feelings and stuff like that.
Like you said, you'd been to a bunch of haunted places like in your hometown and stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's just creepy shit all over. But there's a place in Estes Park, Colorado, called the Stanley Hotel.
Okay.
It's what The Shining was kind of
based off
of, right? So that hotel that they stay in The Shining, that one's actually like in England or something like that. But the real one in the book is like, I think it's the Stanley Hotel. And it's supposed to be super haunted. The dude that started it, this guy named Stanley, his last name was Stanley. He like invented the first hybrid car. He had a car that ran off of steam. It got up to like 60 miles an hour. It's like back in the 20s, which is, was really cool. But super haunted place, and there's a story that if you like, you'll walk around, you'll smell like pipe tobacco or like cigars or whatever. And because he used to like smoke pipes or cigars all the time. And I was doing a ghost tour there one time, and we were about to leave, and I walked past just this felt like a little tiny cloud felt like somebody just like blew cigar smoke right in my face. And I was like, but there was, nobody around. I was like, that's kind of fucking weird. But that's like the only time.
That's weird.
It is weird, man. Like the movies that really scare me now as an adult, like slasher movies never scare me.
Right.
Because I own guns.
Yes.
I'll shoot Jason in the fucking face.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people are scared of those because they seem more likely to actually happen.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm just like, dude, shoot that motherfucker. What are you doing?
Yeah.
The movies that scare the shit out of me are exorcism movies.
Gotcha, because of the religion thing.
Because I'm Catholic, and
Yeah.
I've like talked to priests about exorcisms, and they're like, yeah, they happen all the time. It's crazy.
That's nuts.
Demonic possession's a fucking, in my opinion, I'm like, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So what's the one that fucks you up the most? What's the scariest one? Exorcist?
No, Exorcist isn't that crazy, but dude, like any of like the Conjuring, the Annabelles, shit like that.
Thinking of Conjuring.
So like those are all very, very interesting too. Because I mean they're just scary as fuck.
Now, will you watch them?
Oh yeah.
You just go in knowing this one's gonna scare the shit out of me.
I like doing shit that scares me.
Yeah, me
a
too.
Little bit, right?
That's my favorite movies, and and the ones that scare me the most are anything with like a parasite in it, something that gets in you, like
Dude.
Alien, Slither, shit like that.
One of the things that gives me the fucking heebie-jeebies now is ticks.
Ticks
Dude.
are that jumps right in there. Have you ever seen the tongue-eating louse?
Nope, I don't want to.
There,
I don't want to. Brandon, don't do it.
there's this.
Brandon, fucking move your hands away from the keyboard.
There's this parasite that eats the tongues of fish and then replaces their tongue.
Oh my god!
There's this movie called The Bay where it's about it. It's like a found footage type movie where it starts doing it to people. It replaces their tongue.
Oh my god, dude!
Yeah, and there's like, which we don't have to pull it up, but there's like they're kind of cute. There's a creepy picture of a fish with his mouth open. You see two little eyes looking out of his mouth. That shit scares the fuck out of me.
There's a parasite that gets into crawfish, and it gets right up under their thorax.
Yeah.
And there's videos on Facebook and shit of them like pulling those things don't. I got a real strong stomach, dude. Like blood, guts, none of that shit fucking bothers me, right? But pulling like a bot fly or a parasite out of somebody, it like just talking about it gives me the fucking willies,
I have
dude.
the chills right now. That's what scares me.
It's
that
disgusting,
freaks me the
dude.
fuck out.
Yeah. And it's crazy because like you don't have to live in a third world country to get a bot fly.
Right.
It could just land on you one day, fucking go in, disgusting.
Dude, I was at a creek, and I don't think they're even supposed to be in creeks, but I was in a still part of it where you like pulled over to shotgun beers or something. We were kayaking. You know how you do in Alabama.
We were on our way to church, man.
I had a fucking leech on me.
Oh, yeah, leeches are gross.
Yeah, that was gnarly. It wasn't on there long. I just pulled him off, but it was scary.
A crazy thing to me is old, like, medicine. Old medical practices.
Yes.
Like when they used to bloodlet or put leeches on
Put them
people.
on people's eyeballs
How
and
fucked
shit.
up would that be? You got a cough, you go to the doctor, but you got too much blood in you, son.
Yeah,
Come
we're
here.
going to get that out.
Let me open a vein. You're like, open a vein, dude.
Yeah, it's
Man.
crazy. Early medicine's crazy.
Dude,
fucking lobotomies and shit.
Fuck, dude, lobotomies. Dude, Kennedy's sister got a lobotomy.
Is that true?
Yeah. Fuck, they lobotomized her because she was too, like, free-spirited.
Like,
Fucking
you gotta calm this bitch down.
Yeah, dude. Let's see if I'm a liar. Yeah, fucking.
In the early young adult years, Rosemary Kennedy experienced seizures and violent mood swings. In response to these issues, her father arranged a prefrontal lobotomy on her in 1941 when she was 23 years old.
Yeah.
The procedure left her permanently incapacitated and rendered her unable to speak intelligibly.
Yep.
That is fucked up.
Well, she's a woman. She couldn't speak intelligibly to begin with.
Hey!
Got
Got him!
got him, dude.
Got him, brother!
Broads are dumb.
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
dude. I like how I just said that. Me and Brent in sync. We go, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, this is why we're friends. You're like an amalgamation of like my friends from home.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's
That's
great.
fun, man. Oh shit.
Does anything else scare you in real life? Like, I know you said like you don't fuck with snakes. What about needles? How do you feel about a needle?
I was just about to say this. I have no problem getting a shot. I can't get an IV. I've passed out multiple times.
And it's just because of that.
This is the craziest part. I don't like people touching the crevice of my arm. That's why like my tattoo sleeves is blank
Stops
here.
right there.
I have some lines like on top of my tattoo here that he was supposed to fill in, and it just got so bad. I was like, nope, leave him blank.
I'm good.
I'm good. So I have like an unfinished fucking tattoo
That's
up here.
so funny. I've never noticed that.
That it'll fucking stay unfinished for the rest of my life.
That's so Now, are you allowed to get that? I mean, like, if you had a tattoo right there, could they just stab through it? Is that not?
Yeah,
okay.
it doesn't.
I don't know
like-
how stuff works.
It's just in your skin, Playboy.
Yeah. Okay.
Vein?
Yeah, I'm dumb.
You went to college, didn't you?
Yeah, for like 2 years I dropped out. I'm like severely undiagnosed ADHD, probably. Who knows?
Same, dude. Same. So I got a dude. Oh God, I have a thing about. There's a nerve in your body called your vagus nerve, your vagus nerve, or something like that.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's what maybe controls the cortisol levels in your body, like the crazy shit that like makes you pass out and stuff. Also known as the vagal nerve, is the main nerve in your parasympathetic nervous system. The system controls self-body functions such as digestion, heart rate, immunity. So yeah, so this nerve controls like your heart rate.
Okay.
And and I don't know, I heard somewhere that like it's one of the things that makes you pass out. I don't know why, but like when some crazy shit happens, like when people get overstimulated or whatever, and they like, when women like faint and shit, I'm pretty sure it makes you. Oh, when it becomes too active, it causes your heart rate and blood pressure to drop so much, so fast in both, and you pass out, right?
Interesting.
So when I get like, I can get an IV in my hand all day. Doesn't matter. Like pain doesn't bother me. I have a fuckload of tattoos. I'm a pretty tough dude. But like for some reason, even when somebody like touches like this part of my body, don't fuck with it. So I was in boot camp and they had to do a blood draw. And I was like sitting there and I was like, I'm fine. I look at it and I just go, oh, fucking pass out. I wake up to like 6 drill instructors around me. They wake up. They're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Oh, fucking what?"
I forgot you had a military background.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, you're gonna hate this.
Oh God.
I gave blood at a blood drive at high school one time. And
AIDS.
She fucked up. The lady fucked up. She pulled the needle out. I don't know how it works, but I squirted all over my shirt.
That's hot.
You like that?
That's hot.
Yeah.
Didn't know you were squirted.
Squirted blood all over my shirt.
Dude,
I squirt blood.
Dude, the last time I passed out, I was so in the military, in the Navy at least, you have to do an HIV test once a year.
Yeah.
So they just test your that. And the only way to really do it is to draw blood on you. So I had to go do an HIV blood draw, and I was pretty good friends with the corpsman, the medic. And they're trained to draw blood and shit like that. They're like an EMT, like a whatever. But I told him, I was like, "Hey doc, listen, I pass out when I get my blood drawn. Just a heads up for you, right? Because they can either do it like laying down or in a chair,
right?"
And he goes, "Man, you ain't gonna pass out." I thought I was fucking with him, dude. I was like, "Bro, I'm telling you right now, I've passed out more times than I haven't passed out."
Yeah.
He goes, "Man, you always playing. Come here." And I was like, all right. So I'm like sitting upright in a chair, and I'm like, and he starts like, he's like, puts the needle in, puts the vial on, and he's like holding my arm, and I just go, boop, and I like start pushing into the needle.
Oh no!
And he goes, whoa, and he pulls out the needle, and I pass out, and I wake up, and I'm like. He goes, "Man, you were fucking serious?" He goes, "I thought you were fucking with me. What the fuck, man? Why'd you tell me?" I was like, "Bitch, I told you."
Why was Chris Tucker your doctor?
Oh, you know what's crazy? That's a white dude. That was a white dude talking like that. He's from Houston. Fucking hilarious.
Oh, hell
bro.
yeah. That's hilarious.
He thought I was fucking with him, bro. And I was like, and then our lieutenant comes in, who's like an actual medical doctor, is like, and I'm like laying on the ground, my feet are in the air, all this shit. And he's just like, "What happened to him?" And he goes, "He passed out." And he goes, "Pussy." And just walked away. I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Were you ever scared otherwise in the Navy? Was that scary? Were you on a boat?
No, I didn't do anything cool in the military. That's why I don't really talk about like my service a lot. It was like,
gotcha,
whatever. But when I signed up so I was in the reserves for 6 years, right? So that was, I mean, it's not that impressive or whatever, but when I enlisted, my recruiter was like, "Hey, there's a very good chance you're going to get deployed 1 or 2 times in your job." Like I was in security, so I was like a military police officer. So they need those guys all the time, all over the world, because every base, ship, and then a bunch of other little stuff has to have a certain amount of those guys, right? So we're needed all over all the time. And so she was like, "There's a very good chance you're going to get deployed a couple times throughout your contract." I was like, "Okay, whatever, cool." And the thing about the reserves is they could call you at any time and be like, "Hey, you got tagged for mobilization." It's the Navy reserves isn't like any other reserves where you belong to a unit.
Gotcha.
So like you're in like the Army, if you're a part of a unit, you're on what's called a rotation. So like every 3 years or whatever, you'll rotate and relieve another platoon or whatever.
I see. Okay.
You'll relieve another unit. But in the Navy, they individually mobilize people. So we could be in the same unit, and then I can just get tagged for mobilization, then you're not going to see me for a year. So it was one of those things of like, you never knew when it was coming. You could get an email or a call any day, and they'd be like, "Hey, MA2 McWilliams, you've been tagged for mobilization. Report to your command at your earliest convenience to start your like mobilization process or whatever." And it's usually like a 2 or 3 month process, but it's like, fuck, I'm going somewhere overseas.
Right.
So it's always like the not knowing.
Yeah, the unknown.
The unknown is the scariest shit in the world.
The unknown is scary. Yeah, me and Brian Simpson talked about like space and the ocean. The ocean's just like,
oh yeah, the fucking ocean terrifies me.
So
I was in the Navy and it
scary.
scares the fuck out of me.
Yeah,
dude.
Scary as fuck. The unknown. You don't know what's down there. And like space is scary too, but there's for sure shit in the ocean, you know?
Oh yeah. There's so many planes and ships and stuff like that have just been never seen again.
Never seen again.
And they're right here on Earth, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Bermuda Triangle is only, I think it's like less than 100 miles off the coast of Florida.
I didn't know it was that close.
Brandon, do you see? I'm sorry, I don't mean that.
No.
My
bad.
Yeah, I think the Bermuda Triangle is like less than 100 miles off the coast of Florida, and it's just.
Yeah, I always thought. I remember they did the Bermuda Triangle in a Power Rangers movie one time. I thought it was cool.
Fuck. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it says that the main island is only 14 miles away.
Wow.
Or something crazy. Like
So it's like.
So it's just like an electromagnetic field or something, right? Like compasses and shit cut off out there?
Yeah, that's like the crazy thing we don't know. Like nobody knows what causes it to do. It's like some people will say it's like a hot spot for like microstorms, like little like hurricanes or whatever, just in that little fucking triangle. Some people say it's a giant electromagnetic field that fucks with your like instrumentation and shit. Like there's a story about a naval pilot in like the 60s who was flying just a training. He was flying a training, and he thought his instrumentation got so fucked up that he thought he ended up in the Gulf of Mexico. So he's like, okay, cool. I need to turn this way to go back to land. And he ended up just going farther out to sea, ran out of fuel, and they never found him again.
Fuck.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, just shit like that happens all the time. And then it's like, what fucking we have the ability like to look up anything right now. We have these computers, AI, all of this fucking technology in the world, and nobody can tell us how the fucking Bermuda Triangle works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is scary.
We could put a man on the fucking moon, but we can't go to the bottom of the Mariana Trench for longer than 20 minutes. What the fuck is going on?
What's down there?
What's my goddamn tax dollars going to, man? Putting these motherfuckers on the moon, putting Russians in a space station. I can't go swimming, motherfucker. Pissed.
Okay. We got like 10 more minutes. I'm going to ask you some more questions. Let's see.
Lightning round.
Have you done psychedelics? Have you ever had a bad trip before?
No.
Nightmares. Have you ever had sleep paralysis?
No, I used to have a reoccurring nightmare though.
Ooh, tell me.
It's just super sad. My dad.
shit.
My dad is. My dad's like one of my best friends. I look up to my father so much, and I used to have a reoccurring dream when I was little. My dad was taking me by the hand. We were walking somewhere, and there was like just a dude there. He would like take me to this man, and he would like hand me to this guy. My hand to this guy. This guy would grab my hand, and my dad would turn and walk away, and I would like break away from this guy and run after my dad, and I can never catch up to him ever. And right before I was able, every time right before I was able to grab onto the back of his shirt, I'd wake up. And I had that dream for years.
Really?
I think from the time I was like 6 to the time I was like 14, I would have it randomly.
I wonder what that is.
I don't know. I think it's the fear of losing my dad is that thing. Dude, I don't cry. I'm not a big crier. I just like, I can compartmentalize shit really well. And I hadn't cried in like a couple years. And a couple weeks ago, I had a dream that my dad visited me as a ghost. And he told me he'd been dead for 7 years. And I woke up and I went to go make coffee. And I just started fucking crying, dude. Like a fucking bitch, bro. Just fuck. I called him and I was like, Dad. He was like, hey, man, what's going on? I was like, I just had this dream about you dying. And he goes, thanks a lot for telling me that, dude. I appreciate you fucking telling me this at 7 a.m, Maverick. Thanks for ruining my fucking day.
That's hilarious.
I was like, fuck you, dude. He just laughed. He's like, you need a fucking tissue or something? It was so fucking funny, dude.
I called, what did I do? I texted my dad. Like, when I first moved here, it was like a year ago. It was just a tough move, you know?
Yeah, man. Same.
And like depression doesn't go away when you move to a new place.
No.
And then you don't have like your support system anymore. And I was pretty bummed. And I did 5 grams of mushrooms in my room by myself on my air mattress. I'm not on an air mattress anymore, but I was tripping. And I remember like I was like somewhere else. Like I'm just going in my head, like going to different like dimension or whatever. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
And every once in a while I would like come back to reality or whatever. I would be like, oh, this one sucks. And I remember because I was on an air mattress and shit, but I remember at one point I was like somewhere else and I felt like I was far away. Like my spirit, whatever, felt like it was far away. it's hard to explain if you've never done psychedelics, but it's like I felt like I was somewhere else, but I could hear this noise, and it was like kind of annoying. I was like, what is that noise? And I figured it out. It was me out loud going, Brent, like calling myself back. And I didn't recognize my own voice.
That's incredible, dude.
Isn't that scary as fuck?
That is crazy, dude.
But I texted I was coming out of it, and I was really emotional, and it was like a hero's journey. So when I got out of it, I was like, oh, I'm sad because I left my girlfriend and like best friends behind and shit. That's why I'm sad. And so like I texted the ex and was like, hey, I miss you. And then texted my friend Elliot and was like, miss you. And then I texted my dad, I love you. And he calls me thinking I was going to kill myself. And I had to tell him I was coming down off of mushrooms. He was like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm coming down off of drugs. He's like, drugs? You know, just like freaking out.
Yeah.
And, but I told him I love him. He was like, oh, shit. And he's going to kill himself. Yeah, but there you go.
That's
There's
fucking
a fun
great,
story.
dude. I love that.
On that note, on that very happy note, last question.
Okay.
Are you afraid of death? Are you afraid to die?
No.
No, you're not.
No.
You're religious. You know where you're going? Okay. Why aren't you scared?
Because it's going to happen.
Yeah, it happens to everybody.
Ben Franklin said the best thing in the world, man. The only two things that are certain in life are death and taxes. If I told you I was going to like stand up here and hit you, if I told you I was going to stand up right now and go punch you, there's nothing in the world you can do about it.
Yeah.
There's you have two options. You can either run or fucking lean into it and fight back. And I don't know when I'm going to go, dude. I have a real good feeling I'm not going to live very long. I tell my girlfriend this all the time. You know, I'm like, hey, I don't see myself as an old man. I can't. I don't know what it is about me, but I don't see myself at 80. And I've always felt like that since I was a little kid. And that was my biggest fear when I was a little kid, was dying. It was me dying, my dad dying, not knowing where I'm going to go, not knowing what's going to happen. I'm not saying religion's the key. I'm not telling you there is a heaven, there is a hell, there's an afterlife. I don't know. I'd be a fucking liar if I said I knew for a fact. But I think the best thing you can do is hope. There is. Hope you're going. Hope you get to see your friends again. And just when it comes, take it like a man.
We're going to end it there. That was really good.
Thanks, bro.
I have chills. Maverick, thank you so much. That's a weird. I've been doing that question last, and goddamn, that was the best answer I've gotten.
Fuck, dude. Hey, thanks for the fun podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna be driving to Oklahoma. Where are you going after this?
I got a spot. I'm featuring in Oklahoma tonight. I'm just like,
you're just gonna be staring straight ahead, like
fuck you, Brent. Piece of shit.
No, dude, that was great. Thank you so much. That flew by. You're the best.
You're
I love
the best,
you,
man. I love you, buddy.
Do you want to plug like your website or Instagram or anything?
You know, you can just follow me at Maverick_McWilliams on Instagram and TikTok and shit like that. I post when I have shows, usually here in Austin and stuff like that. I'm going on the road a little bit more. I don't know when this is going to be out.
It's going to be a few weeks. I'm banking this one because I'm going out of town next week.
Okay, cool.
So I won't be able to record. So it'll be a few weeks.
All right, no worries. And I got some stuff coming up. But yeah, follow me on Instagram. That's where all my shit's at. And then if somebody wants to Venmo me $239, I owe the turnpikes in Oklahoma that much money because I keep running them. Because I ain't fucking paying money to drive on your special little gay roads, dude.
Well, I love you, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for listening to Spooky Fun Time.
Thank you, Brandon.